We're gonna be back on Dante's Peak again. This is because this was the map that was set up to be the grand finals, and that's exactly what this is. This is the grand finals of the Starbow Ladder Cup first qualifier. And in the left side of the map, we have the blue Protoss player RSVP, who's made his way through the losers bracket to get in here. And his opponent, who's just been beating nerds left and right in the winners bracket, is the green Zerg player Franscar. I'd like to stay green. This is important to note. This is not the main, like, we have a $400 prize pool, but this is not the main event. This is a qualifier. And how the qualifiers work is that you get, I call them ladder credits. We had to figure a name for them. There's some sort of point system. And you get points according to your placement here, or according to how you finish. So whoever wins this will get the most ladder points, and the top 8 players with the most, ladder credits after the 3 qualifiers will be in the actual ladder cup event, the final event, which has the prize pool. Okay, just had to clear something there. Clear out something there. So we're gonna have Franscar going for a pretty standard, I think this was like a 10 pull or something like that. I thought it was going to expand with this, but it's a little bit early, so it's probably going to give the next one. One thing that's very interesting about this map that I haven't thought about yet is the distance between the main base and the natural is actually really long. It's kind of hard to creep up this area here. You need like 3 creep trimmers, I think, to get this done. Unless you have like perfect creep trimmers, but then you have to wait so long for those. So hopefully the camera is following me. We have RSVP going for a very interesting opening. He's going for gateway first, and it's not even on low ground. And I don't know if this even works, because this is a huge choke to take care of. I don't know if he's done... I'm sure he's done this before. I just haven't seen it much out of him. So it's going to be very interesting to see if this is going to get done or not. So this is, like I said, the grand finals. This is it's just going to be a best of 3. Or else I think Rifkin's going to die and we'll have to drive him to the hospital or something. So the reason I'm kind of solo casting now is that he's quite sick and he's been with us for a long time now, and that's been really awesome, but he had to just take a break now, and that's completely understandable. So Franscar's going to scout his opponent. He's going to scratch his head and say, why is there nothing on the front here? And then it's going to find a gateway in the main base and scratch his head even more. The Zealot is incoming. There's a couple of Zerglings out. The Zealot's just basically here to scare his opponent a little bit. I think they barely saw him. No, let's see how he reacts. He's going to get the queen down, but he might have just gotten that down anyway. He's not making anything off of this larva yet. He's going to make more workers. So this Zealot could actually do some damage. No, it's just going to turn around again. He's going to bank on that his opponent saw it and reacted to it and just turn around and made sure he wasted some resources defending it, and then it was never there. In the meantime, though, I don't really know where RSVP is going to go from here. He gets the Cyber Core, he gets the Nexus, he starts to get a wall off of the natural base. And he gets 5 probes in gas. That's clearly a mistake. In the meantime, though, Franscar's going to go for this expansion, which RSVP scouts. And this is very important information for RSVP, and it's kind of an odd thing to do, to be honest, because when you have this weak wall off, it kind of screams and begs for a Hydra bust, to be honest. But when you get a 3rd base, you know it's not going to be an early Hydra bust at least, and RSVP should be really relieved of seeing that. He might just lose a probe here, though. No, it'll be fine. But these Zealots are Zerglings are going to be annoying because there are no ranged units out for RSVP, so they can stay alive for as long as Franscar can micro them. And we are finally going to see, a Twilight Council, and kind of choosing to build, every other building goes in the main base or at the wall. But this will be a very strong Zealot attack, though, because it never had to invest anything into cannons, and he didn't have to make that many Zealots either, so he's done a very healthy number of workers, and it's only now that Franscar can start to actually pull ahead in workers, and he's getting the Hydra done as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see how much damage RSVP can do with this attack that seems to be coming in with the Zealots, and actually Stalker. Okay, so Franscar, with just a few number of Zerglings, are actually going to threaten this pylon with destruction. That's not so much better than just killing the pylon, it's threatening it with destruction. There's a lot of Stalkers incoming. This is a really strange build from RSVP, and luckily for Franscar, he's getting speed hydras because that's basically the way to counter this. Speed hydras and eventually lurkers are really, really good versus stalkers. Just getting zerglings usually doesn't cut it. If you get a good number of stalkers, you can just micro versus zerglings forever, even if they have speed. And they deal 12 damage versus zerglings as well. They don't deal that much damage versus hydras because there's like some armor type differentials things there. I mean attack type. So he's gonna find this. Well, he already knew about this expansion. He's gonna start pressuring it a little bit. A lot of hydras incoming, but this is gonna be very difficult to hold for Franscar. Because the hydras are just gonna come in one at a time. These stalkers are very fast and they're like 3.2 movement speed, I think. Yeah, and they're gonna reinforce this very quickly. But the queen is actually threatening quite a bit here. Losing a stalker already without blinking, that's kind of bad. I don't know. This is RSVP. I would say he's a very smart player. He's a very like meticulous, methodical player, but he's not necessarily the most APM intensive player. Let's have a look at it. No, not really. Franscar has a lot more APM, at least right now, and more average too. And the strategy he's doing right now feels like it's a very APM intensive strategy, so I don't know if it suits his playstyle the best, but we'll see what he can make of it. I don't think these stalkers can do much more, and these hydras are just going to chase these stalkers forever, it seems. Well, until they blink away. Just want to make sure everything is working here. It seems so. Oh, I see we have Iris in the Starbow chat there. I don't think that's the actual Iris. That would be awesome if it was, but I know there are some pro gamers who played Starbow though, but... And we actually have had some pro gamers in the ladder. We had Destiny there, we had Moonglade there very recently. Size StarCraft was there. He's not really a pro gamer, but he's pretty good and known. So we had some people on the ladder. So RCP's seeing what he can do with these stalkers, just gonna blink around, snoop around, but can't really do too much. He's gonna get a group of speed lots now coming out. He's getting the Temple Archives and the Robot Facility. So this is very interesting, and I actually like this quite a bit because one of the reasons we made the stalkers the way they are is that we wanted an option for Protoss to not just go straight to High Templars. Not like Zealots straight into High Templars, that you can like stay on lower tiers for a little bit longer. And that's exactly what RCP is doing, is just following the game and design intention completely. And this was Cabell's idea, I think. That's one of his reasons for adding the Stalkers like he did. Cabell is the guy who made Starbow originally. And RCP is going to do a lot of damage here. These Zealots connecting really well with the Hydras, the DPS from the Stalkers behind. The drones has to escape. My English is great, and I was gonna say you could try and snipe the hatchery, but the Stalkers do a horrible job killing buildings, so much better at killing units. They're gonna get this queen. Wow, this is a lot of damage from RCP. I don't know if Franscar can hold this. He may have met his match here with this incredibly odd build from RCP. I've never seen anything like it. Tasteless, if you're watching, try this build. He's been looking for good builds versus Zerg, and this was a very interesting build. I don't know though if RCP could have held a Hydra bust in his position. He had a very, very, I feel, vulnerable opening stage of the game, but if he had just, you know, he could have opened a little bit different and still gone into this build, I feel. Okay, I'm being very technical now, but I was very intrigued by the build. He should blink away and maybe rift the Hide Zerglings. Is also no, he's just gonna go for it. He's gonna offensively blink instead. He could have picked off that Stalker at least, but no, Franscar not paying attention, just retreating. He really needs to try and get another expansion out instead. This one is pretty much dead and gone. He's gonna get the upgrade as two as well. That's incredibly important. And he's fighting off high ground now, but he's got a big group of Hydras, but he's not gonna cut it. He can offensively blink again and do so much damage. That's a very cute little blink there, not like into the fire, but on the side there. I really like that. And is he gonna try and pressure the... No, he's gonna stay back. But if he can keep Franscar on 2 bases while he's taking his own third, he's in a very good position. And he's slowly taking towards that nice composition. He doesn't have Storm. He's getting Storm now. He's had to focus so much on micro. He hasn't been able to do too much infrastructure, although he has been able to make units as his money is fairly low. It's not like 1000k in the bank or anything like that. But now Franscar can push this back a little bit. He's got a cannon here, so that's good, but it's only one. He's gonna try and take the fight here, and he turns around as the more Zealots incoming. Speedlots with Speed Stalkers, such a very mobile and interesting Protoss army, and as long as the Zerg doesn't have too many units, there's really nothing you can do about this. Well, Lurkers is actually the perfect response for this, but he's getting a Spire instead. I don't know why he hasn't tried to make lurkers earlier, to be honest, and he's not making them now either, because lurkers is really the way to deal with this army composition, and mutalisks are just going to die to the stalkers. So Franscar with a very odd choice there. I don't even know if he's going to get any mutalisks out. This army just might kill him right now. I'm sorry if you get a little bit bored by my monotone voice. I'll try and mix it up a little bit here, but I am solo casting at the moment, so you'll just have to take me for what I am. If that made any sense, I don't know. So, RSVP being pushed back, I don't think you should be out with Hydralisks at this time. When you have potential stalker reinforcements, stalkers are very good at punishing smaller groups of units out on the map, and you should be very careful about moving out with these Hydralisks. He's a little bit indecisive there, but he's gonna go out. Gonna go out in town on this. Well, this is like really like a night out in town. Look at this wonderful place with experimental tubes and great signs. Look at that! Wow, isn't that cool? I need to add more of those signs to the other maps we have. I didn't add this one, but the guy who did it showed me how to do it, so I can do it on the other maps. So we got another engagement here. We now have Storm, so this is going to be such a deadly combination. There's like less Hydras than there are Zealots at the moment. This is such an incredible difficult game to come back from for Franscar. Again, he made the Spire. He's not making any Mutalisks, and he's not making any. He's just sticking with Hydra, and he doesn't even have a Lurker Den. This is such an odd composition to try and composition. It's just Hydralisk. This is such an odd unit to try and deal with this. And here are the storms. Oh, this is a beautiful storm. Yeah, this is it. He's trying to micro desperately a few number of Hydras, but there's a much superior force attacking him. And now RSVP can actually go in here. He can actually start dealing some damage. These stalkers are preoccupied killing a hatchery, which will take forever, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, there we go. He can. No, I think okay. Franscar is gonna hold this actually. It seems yes. Had those stalkers blinked in and actually try and deal some damage to the units and the defensive structures instead of this hatchery, I think it could have been very different. But it's going to be a very temporarily hold. I don't think it's going to be permanent. But he bought himself a little bit of breathing room. He even got this base up with a couple of workers. Ooh, that's a really good storm. And RCP is getting a fourth base, and there's just nothing Franscar can do about this. This is pretty much... That build, man, was incredibly interesting that RCP did. I've never seen anything like it. Well, okay, that's not true. I have seen stuff like it, but I've never seen that exact build. Oh, and the storms. All the storms, and yeah, this is it. Franscar can maybe hold his choke for a very long time, but man, just swarms and swarms of Protoss units coming. Look at that supply. There's more than 3 times more supplies for RCP than is for Franscar, and yeah, he's just whittling him down to nothing. Slowly, surgically killing him into oblivion. He doesn't even need Dark Templars or anything like that. He can just brute force with gateway units now, and GG, Franscar got this game.